It's time for our main event. Bernard Hopkins against Chad Doусон. The question is, can Hopkins do it again? He holds two of the most impressive records in boxing history, defending his middleweight championship a record 20 times, and in May, at light heavyweight, becoming the oldest man ever to win any title belt. Tonight, can Hopkins become the oldest man ever to retain a legitimate championship? We'll see moments from now. Hopkins versus Doусон is being brought to you by Staples Center, live from Los Angeles. Cerveza Tecate con Carácter. AT&T, get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. Ripley's Believe It or Not, proudly freaking out families for more than 90 years. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. Halo tape for Bernard Hopkins and Chad Doусон. You see the 17-year age difference. Everything Hopkins does at this point is astonishing. A height edge of 1 inch listed here for Chad Doуson. When they stand together, it looks as though that edge may be more like 2. An arm length advantage of 2 inches for Doуson, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. If he gets his jab going in rhythm and can throw it in volume, that difference could be significant. They both weighed in just under the 175-pound limit. Both are lanky-type light heavyweights, not chunky ones. Tonight, Hopkins weighs 185, and Doуson is 2 pounds heavier at 187, unofficially on our HBO scale. Chad Doуson, originally from Hartsville, South Carolina, has lived most of his life in Hartford, Connecticut, moved to Las Vegas for a period of time last year, but has since gone back to the more familiar environment of Hartford. He had some personal difficulties within the past couple of years, but says that he has thoroughly settled his life now and is in the right position to fight a man he's wanted to fight for a long time. Emmanuel Stewart, you trained him for his appearance against Adrian Jacquinu last summer. Most people thought that he would stick with you, but he preferred, as it turned out, to go back to another trainer. He's had about a half dozen of them. A man named John Scully.
Now making his entrance to the ring, Chad Douson.
What kind of a fighter is he, and what must he do tonight?
Chad has unbelievable talent in terms of his speed, accurate pinpoint punching, power, everything, but he loses his focus sometimes throughout the fight, and I think that's the only concern, that everyone that's picking who's going to win tonight is only concerned about him losing his focus, and Bernard being such a very smart guy and so determined, taking advantage of that whenever it happens at any point in time.
Doуson is a 6'2" southpaw with real hand speed and excellent defense. Just the kind of athletic nightmare that an older fighter would try to avoid. And here's Bernard Hopkins, 46 years old, defending the light heavyweight championship of the world against him. Amazing. Incidentally, George Foreman was the lineal heavyweight champion at the age of 48 when he made his last successful title defense. So,
and that's complicated by the fact that Lennox Lewis was also fighting at the same time.
That's right. He was not the best heavyweight.
Regarded Lennox as the legit champ.
That's right.
You saw Winky Wright in Chad Douson's corner. Winky Wright lost a fight to Bernard Hopkins a couple of years ago and was brought into Douson's corner specifically to teach him something about fighting Bernard Hopkins. One thing he said to Doуson is, don't let Bernard slow your pace down. That's how he wins fights, is to make you fight slower than you want. Joe Calzaghe was the one guy who was able to keep his punch output up against Bernard Hopkins. Wound up throwing and landing many more punches, although Hopkins and his people thought they were all slaps, not hard punches. But the judges gave Calzaghe credit for them, and he was able to narrowly defeat Hopkins in a fight where many experts scored the fight for Bernard, including Max Kellerman.
I haven't scored against Hopkins since Roy Jones in 1994, Jim.
Coming to the ring, Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins.
And of course, if you're in my position, then you picked against Hopkins when he fought Antonio Tarver, and you picked against Hopkins when he fought Kelly Pavlik, because clearly those guys were too young, too mobile, too fast for him. And if you've experienced what I've experienced in having made those mistakes, you get awfully skittish about picking against him against anyone. I don't care how good Chad Douson is. It's really hard for me to go pick somebody other than Bernard Hopkins.
Maybe now Hopkins should be worried. He finally has convinced everyone that he'll beat the young guys. He's always been motivated, Hopkins, by the naysayers. It's always a lot of top athletes, I think, are that way. And Hopkins is no exception. Maybe he's a really good example of it, in fact.
So I can be proud to have given him a lot of motivation over the years.
You know, I have never, ever picked against Bernard Hopkins.
You're smart.
No, never have picked him. Trinidad, Kelly Pavlik, all of those fights.
You knew that he would beat Felix Trinidad September 29th,
Yes, I always knew that. In fact, I was just interviewed by a guy from Puerto Rico said you were the only one that told us that. I never could see Trinidad beating Bernard. Bernard was physically too strong and technically sound.
Well, here's the secret. Footwork. He had better footwork than Tarver by far. He had better footwork than Pavlik by far. He dwarfed Felix Trinidad in that regard. 46 years or not, he is as smart, as mobile, as nimble, and as quick around the ring as he needs to be to keep winning.
And he shares another thing with the other oldest boxer in history, George Foreman. Both George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins are extremely strong-willed men. And
Throw
that's why
Archie Moore into that equation,
very
too.
determined guys. At all points in time, you can never count them out, even during a fight, as Michael Morrow found out. And Chad Douson has to realize that he's up against that tonight. Not just the fighter, but the mindset of Bernard Hopkins is his biggest asset.
Well, and Max made a good point. Throw Archie Moore in there, too. His mental powers were legendary. There are a lot of great fighters in the ring right now. Let's go to Michael Buffer with the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, USA, Golden Boy Promotions and Gary Shaw Productions are proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC and Ring Magazine. Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Tecate Cerveza con Carácter. AT&T, get it faster with 4G, rethink possible. And Ripley's Believe It or Not, proudly freaking out families for 90 years. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Chairman John Frierson, Vice Chairman Dr. Christopher Giza, Executive Director George Dodd, and the World Boxing Council, President Jose Suleiman, WBC Supervisor at ringside, Bob Logist. The three judges at ringside scoring this bout will be Marty Denkin, Dr. Lou Moret, and Oren Schellenberger. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Pat Russell. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, from Staples Center, Los Angeles, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, standing with his head trainer John Scully, wearing blue, officially weighing in at 174.2 pounds. His professional record, outstanding, with 30 victories, including 17 knockouts and only one defeat. From New Haven, Connecticut, USA, the #1 ranked contender in the world and former light heavyweight champion of the world, Chad Douson. And standing with his head trainer, brother Nazim Richardson, in the red corner, wearing red and weighing in at 173.4 pounds. 52 victories as a professional, including 32 knockouts, 5 defeats, and 2 draws. Tonight, we once again turn the page to the ongoing chapter in the history of this fighting legend from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, the former undisputed middleweight champion of the world and the reigning, defending light heavyweight champion of the world, Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins.
Everybody clear the ring. All the way back, Jack. Go back for a bit. Hang on, Chad. We're good. Let's go. Boxer out. Mouthpiece in for me, Chad. Thank you. Mouthpiece in for me. All right, there's the line right there. Hip line to hip line, there's the line right there. 12 rounds for light heavyweight championship of the world. Good luck to both fighters. Touch them up, come out at the bell.
The thought with Hopkins is he's always fighting father time. He's 46 years old. In Hopkins' mind, he hears the warden. When he was getting out of prison as a young man, the warden said, "You'll be back in 6 months." And that voice has been ringing in his ears since then. Can he beat the warden one more time?
Some observers suspect there's a home court advantage for Hopkins in Los Angeles, where his promotional company, Golden Boy, is located, where he's partners with Oscar De La Hoya and Richard Schaefer, where he might be expected to get the benefit of the doubt. Dawson's promoter, Gary Shaw, was vehement yesterday in saying to us, "I am very confident Chad is only fighting one person here tomorrow night. I know everybody whom the Golden Boy people know, and I know them just as well." Right hand by Hopkins lands. And that is a Bernard Hopkins tactic. The lead right hand with the head following closely behind it, and you got to be careful.
Part of the old Philadelphia training he got from one of the best middleweights ever with Benny Briscoe, who was from Philadelphia. Benny always kept his head tucked into his down low, chin and chest. In case you had a clash of heads, he'd always come into one, button the other guy. And also it prevents you from getting hurt with punches, because your chin is much stronger if you keep your chin tucked down.
Philadelphia is middleweight city. Bernard Hopkins, Benny Briscoe, Joey Giardello, and the recently deceased Sweet George Benton, among many others.
A lot of great middleweights out of Philadelphia.
Guys, Hopkins looks kind of slow so far, but he's winning the position battle, consistently getting his left foot outside the southpaw Dawson's lead right foot. And that gives him an advantage.
Explain that, Emmanuel. What's the significance of Hopkins getting his lead foot to the outside of Dawson's right foot?
Well, you have better leverage, because if you have your lead foot on the inside, your legs are really crossed. If anyone pushes you or you even get hit on a punch slightly on the shoulders, you'll fall down.
And your power hand, your backhand is farther away from your opponent.
Farther away, but everything is wrong when you get your feet in between. He's doing the right thing. He's keeping his feet on the outside.
As I said before the fight, Bernard Hopkins' great secret, even at age 46, is amazing footwork.
So far, not the most aggressive fight plan, but I haven't seen Dawson do anything this round. The action, whatever there's been, has been initiated by Hopkins.
There's Dawson with a four-punch combination, but his plan was to try to throw 70, 80, 90 punches per round. Hopkins is succeeding, at least in the first round, in blunting that and making Dawson fight at a Bernard Hopkins pace.
Stop the bell.
Well, whether Hopkins has won this round or not, and he may not have, it was fought at the pace at which he prefers the fight to take place.
I thought he won it.
Yeah, that's in there tight. All right, sit down. Listen.
I do leave it in.
Want to leave it in? All right, okay. All right. Listen, when you're following him around, you're jabbing good, right? But listen, you see, don't drop your hands in frustration, all right? I know you want him to fight. Stay with the plan. Stay towards the end zone. You hear me? Keep your hands up.
Got a check hook on top of that shoulder. And get your jab popping, X.
Round 2.
All right, he reaching already, so tip your hat, make him show you what he want to do. All right? Nice and smooth. Don't overcommit there. When you're coming forward, you overcommit a little bit. All right, let's stay behind that chain and get there.
It was not too many clean punches landing in that round, but here you see, as they got in close, you see a short left-hand punch coming from Douson, which may have been one of the cleanest punches of the entire round.
I thought that was the only punch Douson landed. I thought Hopkins landed a few at least.
Back, all the way back. Box.
CompuBox numbers in round 1. Hopkins 5 of 13, Douson 5 of 31. Emmanuel Stewart, Chad Douson trained with you for his last fight, elected not to be trained by you for this fight. He likes John Scully, the trainer who's in the corner with him tonight, who worked with him in years past. Douson has had as many as a half dozen different trainers in the sport. What is Scully like, and what is it that he does for Douson?
Well, I think we need to clear up, we mentioned this quite a few times, why he didn't train with me. It was not so much that he chose Scully, so as I would not go and train him where he wanted to train close to his home. I didn't think that's the last place to train, fighting Bernard in particular. So Scully, who lived in his neighborhood, who had trained him earlier, was convenient and close by, so they trained over there instead. Now, Scully is a good trainer. The biggest problem that John has got tonight, he's never been in a big super fight, but I think so far he's doing a great job. But he's going against such an experienced corner on the other side over there. Which, you know, we got over there, we got Nassim Richardson, Leon Tabbs, Danny Davis, plus Bernard himself. So you got a lot of old school brains over there that he's going against. But he's got one of the best talents in boxing to work with. And it may be that they're weighing about the same, but for whatever reason, Chad looks much physically bigger than Bernard.
Yeah, let him go. Stop.
And this round, Bernard's really not doing any punching at all.
Take a step. One step back.
Thank you for the correction, Emmanuel. You should never diminish your reputation that way.
No. Stop. Step back. No, I don't. No knockdown. Come here. Slip. Don't push him down.
So far, the fight's a stinker, but Bernard Hopkins, the reason the public has taken to him later in his career is that he's amazing. He's 46 years old, competing and almost always beating the best young fighters in the sport. And in a Hopkins fight, it's not so much are the fans getting their money's worth in terms of action. At this point, it's can this old guy do it again?
If you have a reputation as an offensive fighter, this kind of fight augurs against you, and you will be downgraded by scorers for not fighting the way you are supposed to as an offensive fighter. If you have a reputation as a defensive genius, as Hopkins does, you can let the air out of the bag, the fight can be lousy and dull, and you benefit from that, because judges take it to mean that you're doing what you want to do.
That's a very sophisticated point, Jim, and I think it's right on the money.
Well, I think it's one of the big advantages for great defenders like Hopkins and Mayweather. The fight doesn't have to be great, and that's a tackle by Chad Douson. He picked Hopkins up and threw him down.
Time.
Bernard Hopkins was thrown down by Antoine Eccles that way in a fight in Las Vegas years ago, and wound up having to consult with the ring doctor, Margaret Goodman, who allowed him to continue despite what he said was a shoulder injury. Now we're going to see what happens tonight as the result of Hopkins having been thrown onto the canvas, and you can see the expression of people in the stands, or in the seats, I should say.
There we are.
And promoter Gary Shaw, Chad Dawson's promoter, is standing right there with a derisive expression on his face, and Hopkins is seemingly indicating that his left shoulder is badly damaged.
I've seen Hopkins fake it, I thought, against Joe Calzaghe to buy himself time. If he's faking it now, he's doing a really good job, because he looks like he's in pain to me.
Seems to be all but weeping over there.
Maybe too good a job.
Now he's pounding a glove against the canvas.
You can't continue.
One hand, yeah.
What?
One hand, yeah, look at popped out.
No, you can't.
Okay, can't continue. It's over.
Hopkins is saying that he believes the shoulder has been separated or dislocated. The bell rings. The action stops.
Stay right there.
We're barely into the second round.
Wait a minute. I do not have a foul, okay? I'm not calling that a foul, no. TK, you cannot continue because of a shoulder.
You heard I believe the ref saying I did not call that a foul. TKO because he can't continue because of the shoulder.
It was inadvertent. I'm not calling it a foul. The TKO when he lifted him up. The guy was on top of him, he lifted him up. The TKO. The TKO cannot foul. There's no foul.
Looks like Douson is going to become the light heavyweight champion of the world on a TKO of Hopkins. That's what we seem to be hearing here. Pat Russell is saying, I called no foul.
I think that's the incorrect call. Whether or not it's a foul, it should be something like a no decision or no contest. Because clearly it was an injury by a non-boxing move. He was thrown to the ground, even if he was on top of Chad Douson.
I agree with that. It had nothing to do with boxing.
I just can't see them calling this a TKO victory because there's so many areas. I mean, the contest ends before 4 rounds.
No, he loses by TKO because he cannot continue losing.
And if the ref was going to call this a TKO, he should have informed Hopkins, so Hopkins could have the option to fight with one hand.
Well, Gary Shaw seems upset, and I'm not sure why, because it appears that his fighter is going to be given credit for a TKO win. I'm not sure. Gary is yelling that Chad won the fight. And Harold, let's get your perspective on what's going on here.
You know, Jim, bottom line, the referee is in complete control. The commission can't overrule him, the doctor can't overrule him, and I can't overrule him. Pat Russell said there was no foul. He said that the guy went down. You know, he actually says it's a boxing-related thing, and he's handing the title to Chad Douson. Whether Pat Russell made the right call or not, we'll be arguing this forever. But bottom line, it was Russell's call. He said it's a TKO. I mean, in my estimation, it was an accidental foul, and he should have said it was no decision.
My feeling is it's no contest all the way. I am not an official. I do not have experience making those kinds of rulings.
It's a technical knockout.
He cannot continue because what?
Because of an injury, that's a technical knockout. Scorecards, Lou. Scorecards. Technical knockout. Technical knockout.
Max Kellerman is in the ring looking for the interviews that will help to clear this up. Let's take a look at the replay. Emmanuel, see any boxing there? That was a tackle.
You know, Bernard was over his back, and out of his frustration, he actually became more physical than he should have been. But it's, you know, when you get emotions involved with these type of situations, it's very difficult.
Let's watch the landing. See where the left shoulder lands. Well, we didn't see it because if there's a blow to the shoulder, it takes place at the other side of the ring.
When he threw him on when his body landed on his left shoulder.
All right, let's see this. This angle should show us whether he landed on the left shoulder, as you say, Emmanuel. Free fall from there. Nope, didn't get a chance to see it. Out of frame. Maybe here.
Yeah, I think we'll probably be able to see it.
One more look, and we'll see where the landing is. Elbow on the canvas. That very well could have separated the shoulder.
Yep.
That could have separated the shoulder indeed. And they're still having a discussion as to how this is going to be adjudicated. Ring announcer Michael Buffer isn't ready to tell us anything. The California State Commission has suffered some indignities over the years. They also have the great honor of being the ones who actually penalized Antonio Margarito for loaded gloves. There's Pat Russell, who in his mind clearly has concluded what this ought to be. You wonder if the damaged shoulder will mean something to the rest of Hopkins' career, or whether the career has suddenly been brought to a close.
You know that gangster yesterday? I'm a gangster. You ain't nothing. Keep the ice right.
What's going on, man?
I have no idea. We're making a decision on Britain.
What ruling would you make, Emmanuel?
I would have a no contest.
So I think at this table, at least, we are unanimous. 4 no contests would be the vote here. But as Harold Letterman pointed out, we don't vote. All right, Michael Buffer's ready to tell us what the official verdict is, and then we'll go to Max Kellerman to see if we can clear it up. Here's Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Referee Pat Russell rules that the bout comes to an end officially in round number 2. The official time, 2 minutes 48 seconds at the stoppage. There's no foul. Bernard Hopkins unable to continue. It's a technical knockout at that time. The winner and new WBC and Ring Magazine light heavyweight world champion, Chad Douson.
Well, Chad Douson did claim in advance that he would become the first man to knock out Bernard Hopkins, and now officially he has done so. Surely he never dreamed that that was the way such a distinction would become his. Max Kellerman stands by now with an executive officer of the California State Athletic Commission. Max?
Here with George Dodd, as Jim Lampley mentioned, executive officer of the California State Athletic Commission. George, why was this a TKO?
Because the referee never called a foul, whether it be an intentional or unintentional foul. Since there's no foul called, you have to go with what was said. He couldn't continue after the foul. That is considered a TKO at this time.
It didn't seem, to borrow a football expression, like that was a boxing move. Yes, Bernard was on his back, but Chad Douson threw him off his back and onto the floor. Why did the referee not call that a foul and at least have this a no contest?
That's something that we'll have to discuss with the referee, but at that point in time, there was no foul called, so that's what we're going to go with at this time.
In that case, why can't we talk to the referee right now, since he's the one who made the decision and you can't answer the question?
Because I'll talk to him and then we'll talk to you guys later on, after we get back.
Okay, so there you have it. Judgment call by the referee. Here's the replay. Why this would be called a TKO and not a foul. No, Chad Douson isn't exactly 100% guilty here. Bernard was on his back, as you can see, but Douson threw him off with force. I don't know what any of that has to do with boxing. Seems like a no contest to me. I didn't see anyone knocked out just then, unless the referee felt maybe Hopkins was faking it and could have continued. Why would that be called a TKO? Here with the winner, Chad Douson. Chad, you didn't make the official call, and you aren't the guy who leaned on the other guy's back, but you did throw him off you.
I gave him a shoulder. This is boxing. I needed room. He was pushing me down to the ground. And then I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the fact that Bernard Hopkins disappointed a lot of fans tonight. That's what he did. Disappointed a lot of fans. I was looking forward to a great fight. I was looking forward to going out there and performing. Bernard cut my night short. That's all.
So you think he was faking?
Yeah, he was faking. Come on, man. You know he's faking. Come on, man. He's screaming all the, I'm a gangster. You know, a gangster would have got up and fought like a man.
Let me ask you this, because I didn't hear, well, what do you think you were doing to Bernard Hopkins in the first round and a half that would convince him that he didn't want to fight?
Getting close to him, that's what. Bernard can't touch me, man. I was getting closer and closer, and he knew that.
Chad, here's the replay. Tell me what you see.
Come on, man. All that, where did you see him hurt his shoulder at? Where did he hurt his shoulder at? He fell on his back. Come on, man.
We have a replay showing the elbow hit the canvas first, and it could have jammed the shoulder. Here's another angle.
I'm the new champion, man. I'm the new champion. Critics can say what they want about me. They can say what they want. I don't care right now. I'm the new champion. Point blank period.
I understand your reaction, Chad, because you rightfully feel some credit will be taken away, and you haven't really done anything. You're not the one who stopped fighting. But why the level of anger, Chad, why the level of anger towards the situation and the disbelief about Hopkins' shoulder?
Guys, I came in here to fight. I trained 8 weeks. I trained hard. I told you, like I told you in the meeting, I put everything into this fight. This is a fight I wanted for 3 years, and this is how he jumped out. This shows why he didn't want to fight me right now. You see it. That's why he didn't want to fight me.
What's next for you, Chad?
Pascal. I want Pascal. I want to get that. I want to revenge that loss. I want to revenge that loss. I want Pascal.
Not a rematch?
No, rematch for what? Rematch for what? No. He'll be 47 when it's time to rematch comes. He'll be another 4 months old. No.
Thanks, Chad. See if we can talk to Bernard. Bernard? Bernard? Bernard, describe what happened.
Well, I was backing up.
Here it is.
I was backing up. That tells you all. He picked me up by my 2 legs. He picked me up, look at my feet, and he threw me down with his shoulder. And I rolled on my shoulder, and here's the knot right there that popped up. My shoulder flake is out.
Can we see your other shoulder to compare it? Yeah, it does seem to be raised at the very least. Bernard, neither one of you guys...
I told the referee, he asked me, can you continue? I said, yes, with one arm, I'm ready. He said, no, you can't continue one arm. You got a lump on your top shoulder. And they stopped it.
Did he ever tell you if you...
They stopped it, he walked away, and that was it.
We heard what happened between you. Did the referee ever tell you if you don't continue to fight, you will be the loser by a TKO?
No. No, listen to the tape. Don't take my word for it.
Would you have continued fighting with one arm had you known?
Absolutely. That's I'm known for that. Antoine Eccles.
It doesn't seem to me as though you were faking, but it has seemed in the past. But Bernard, it has seemed in the past like I understand, but against Calzaghe, it seemed like there was a moment you were trying to catch a breather. My question is this. My question is this. I agree with you.
Talk about yesterday, man.
Do you think that maybe some of those veteran tactics of the past hurt you in this situation?
I think what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Come on, man. Things you did in your career when you was coming up, nobody can hold you to what you used to do compared to now. So why I say whether I did or didn't do 10 years ago or 5 years ago doesn't clarify what happened today. Today, what makes boxing wrong.
The reaction of this crowd. How do you...
Out of boxing. They want me out of boxing. They want me out of boxing. This is one of the ways to do it.
In other words, you hear this as saying that the crowd believes you could have continued and chose not to?
And the crowd is on my side, and the crowd know that Chad Douson doesn't deserve to be champion. He wanted to rough me up and throw me down and do dirty stuff to try to get out the fight.
What's next?
Richard Schaefer and them going to do what they got to do because this is not right. And guess what? Guess what? Chad Douson knew he wasn't in there with a 46-year-old man. He knew it. He knew it by my mass. He knew it by my size, as far as handling, and he knew that I was quicker than when he thought I was.
Real quick, Bernard, what should have been the official ruling here in your opinion?
A no contest because he threw me down, and he threw me down with a foul. That was a blatant foul. He picked me up, Max. When you pick somebody up, this ain't the UFC. This ain't the MMA. He picked me up and threw me down. He tackled me to the ground. Football, come on tomorrow.
It wasn't a boxing move. Jim?